Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at a Azumarill Box deck that I've been working on. This is an archetype I've been meaning to look at for a while now, but I've just not really gotten around to it. And it's an interesting little archetype, it does have a really interesting single prize attacker, of course the Azumarill, which hits really hard. And well, we play Terra Pokemon anyway, so it just makes sense. So of course, as per usual, in the description below, there's going to be usual links. There'll be the deck list, which is also available to copy in the description below. There's the games that we'll play, and of course, the outro of what I think of the deck. So of course, we're going to be taking a look at the Stage 1 Azumarill from Surging Sparks, which has the ability Glistening Bubbles. If you have any Terra Pokemon in play, this attack can use Double Edge for a single Psychic Energy. Normally it costs 4, but, well, we're playing Terra Pokemon. It does 230, which is a pretty good number to hit for a single prizer, but of course, it does do 50 damage to itself. Now, of course, we don't just have that in here. We have other type coverage single prize attackers in the form of Moltres. We also have Wellspring to help out. We have Tapu Koko as well, which is a really good card to have in the list at the minute. We have Clefairy to make sure we can hit dragons. We have Koraidon, which can, of course, help us out with regards to, type coverage as well, dealing with the likes of Kangaskhan's and things like that. So we at least have that. And because why not, we might as well play an extra Terra Pokemon, and I thought of Terapagos, because I haven't played a Terapagos in a while. And we're not playing, enough to, do Crown Opal, which to be fair isn't too relevant right now. But having a Terapagos is just an extra answer, and also it's a pretty good attacker as well. Otherwise, we are playing a 3-3 Noctowl engine. Obviously, as I said in the last video, which was Raging Bolt with the Noctowls, the Raging Bolt deck is very clunky with the Noctowls. With this variant, because there isn't as much to it as there is a Bolt deck, this variant runs a lot smoothly with the Noctowl engine. And of course, we're playing Terras anyway. We have 4 Terras in the deck, so it just makes complete sense to be playing it. Anywho, let's go to the deck list and let's have a proper look. And welcome to the deck list. The original deck that I was playing when I was testing this variant did not have Tapu Koko in it because, there wasn't as much Mega Starmie and Mega Greninja when I first tested this deck a couple of weeks ago. But obviously, there is quite a bit of it now, and obviously there's quite a bit of Wellspring as well. So that's kind of why we've had to make do with what we've got here. Obviously, we are playing damage mods to ensure that Azumarill can hit higher numbers. Same with Fan Rotom and Moltres. We have extra, damage mods for them as well. But we also have a Black Belt's training in here to help out with our 2 prizes as well. So, we do at least have a few options in this deck list. And of course, with Sparkling Crystal as our A spec, we do have quite a bit going for us. So of course we're playing a 3-3 Hoothoot Noctowl line, a 2-2 Marill Azumarill line, 2 Latias, 2 Wellspring, 1 Fan, 1 Terapagos, 1 Fez, 1 Koraidon, 1 Clefairy, 1 Moltres, and 1 Tapu Koko. Then of course 4 Crispin, 4 Lillie, 2 Boss, 1 Black Belt, 4 Buddy Poffin, 3 Ultra Ball, 2 Night Stretcher, 2 Poké Pad, 1 Special Red Card, 2 Brave Bangles, 1 Air Balloon, 1 Sparkling Crystal as our A-Spec, 3 Area Zeros, 3 Psychic Energy, 2 Fighting, 2 Lightning, 1 Fire, and 1 Water. The only thing that I wouldn't mind seeing in this deck list, I'll be honest with you, is a Blood Moon Ursaluna. Blood Moon would just really help open up this deck list in the late game, because obviously we don't have the highest amount of damage output. At most, if we're using Terapagos as our attacker, with Black Belt, we're doing 280, that sort of thing. With Azumarill, if we use Brave Bangle plus Black Belt, we're hitting 300, which is pretty good. And of course, Koraidon hitting into a weakness matchup is also pretty strong as well. So, we've got a type coverage box per se. But at the end of the day, we do need to, consider that our damage output in the late game can be quite poor at times. Especially given that we don't have a huge amount of ways to recover the Azumarill line. But like I said, I think a Blood Moon would definitely help with opening that up in the late game. And you could probably cut a Brave Bangle for a Blood Moon, but I've not really had the reason to cut down on the Bangles yet. Because, like I say, the Bangles can help the Fan in, plinking attacks, which is pretty good to have. So, there's a few things to consider, but ultimately not that much, because it's an Azumarill deck. Most of the time you're going to be, leaning into, your single prizes and stuff like that. Obviously, Moltres can uptrade, which is why we're playing a Fire Energy. That sort of thing. The only other thing I wouldn't mind is a Wondrous Patch, is another thing, just to, recycle a Psychic Energy onto, like, Clefairy, prepare another Marill, that sort of thing. Wouldn't be a bad idea, but, these are things you can think about. Anywho, let's get into some games and see how we do. And welcome to our first game. Obviously, we're still in the Arceus rank because, well, ladder's not going to reset for a couple of weeks yet. And, well, yeah, this archetype's pretty okay. Like I say, you've got less moving parts than, you know, the likes of the Bolt Noctowl that we took a look at the other day. Only other thing I'd probably want on this list is a second Fan Rotom, just to, like, find out Noctowls a little easier, but other than that, really, there's not a lot I'd really say. Okay, we've got a Wellspring start, which I'm fine with, because we can go attach Psychic for turn. But, yeah, this archetype has been okay in testing, you know. It's not the best, but, well, it's an Azumarill deck. What do you expect? A Stunfisk. Okay, interesting. That's all I'll say. I'll attach the Wellspring, bench you, and pass. Obviously, I have no way to check if our Water Energy's in the deck, but, well, there's not much I can do about that, Chief. And obviously, we're going to get Pouncing trapped for 60, which is a problem. They're going to Buddy Poffin. Are we playing against... Okay, no. It's a Fan Rotom in there. Fan Call. What could this be? Ah. I know this archetype. So this is an archetype that's been popping up in Japan. Essentially, it's a, you know, you use Stunfisk to increase your damage output with your bunnies, and then you still have Wallies and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting. I will say that much. But obviously now our Wellspring is trapped, but, well, the way these draws are going, there's not much I can do about that. So we'll go attach to the Wellspring. I want to put one of these Psychics back in the deck, and I'm going to have to bench the Fez. So we'll go Torrential Pump. We'll shuffle energy back in, and I'll take out a Baneri. We don't take out the Stunfisk, but I can always Hoothoot it, so, you know. Kind of bad, because obviously now our Wellspring's going to go down to the Stunfisk, which feels kind of bad. There's a Marill off the prize cards, that's good. But obviously, like I say, we can go triple stab for the knockout. But yeah, so the whole point of this archetype, from what I've seen in Japan, essentially you use the Stunfisk to, like, trap opponent's Pokemon that you want, and then you just smack him in the face with the Mega Lopunny. So it makes sense. It does make sense. And there's a Lillie. Okay. There's Air Bloom. Why didn't they attach to the Stunfisk? They could have attacked with Lopunny here. Unless they're just going to go for the knockout with a Stunfisk, I guess. Maybe that's their line. Because like I say, it's... During the next turn, the defender Pokemon takes 100 more damage from attacks. It's a pretty nasty tech card. And obviously you get to play Laventia as your stadium as well, if you don't want to play, you know, Battle Cage. But yeah, there we go. So, you know, it's pretty powerful, to say the least. Alright, time to do the funny play, which is go for the Hoothoot. Well, what choice do I have, folks, really? Like, Hoothoot Knockout is probably my best choice here. There's a Terapagos, so that feels pretty good. Yeah, I'm just going to attach the Hoothoot, and we're going for a triple stab. We just need one heads. Come on. There we go. Triple stab for 10, and take out the Stunfisk. I was getting worried we weren't going to get the knockout there, but... Yeah, that is, that's something, I guess, but, we've not got a whole lot going on here, because, like I said, they can respond with, the Fan Rotom here, which is pretty bad, but then we can respond with Terapagos, but then Terapagos is just going to get responded to by the Rabbit, so, you know, it feels pretty bad. We can at least respond with Koraidon at that point, but I don't want to spring Koraidon if I don't have to. Mega Lopunny and Enriching, because they play Enriching as their draw engine as well. It's a pretty nasty archetype, to be brutally honest. So what I'm thinking here is I attack with Azumarill. Because A, it's part of the video, but also B, it means I can prep Koraidon for later. So let's go Evolve to Azumarill. We'll attach Psychic, because obviously we have a Terapagos down. So then we'll Fez for 3. That feels pretty good. Because I haven't checked the deck the whole game, so I'm going to check if Koraidon's in there. He is in there. Okay, that's good for us. I might just grab it. and threaten it. Like, I might just put it down on the board, I'll be honest. But I could just leave it in hand. It's not the worst thing to do. I could crystal it though. That feels tempting. No, I'm gonna hold it. I think it's fine to hold it. So we'll just knock out the Fan Rotom with the Azumarill, take a prize card. There's a Night Stretcher, so that feels pretty good. Obviously, they need to promote this to Dunsparce to, you know, do anything here. But no, I mean, you know, we're not in the worst position ever. You know, like, we aren't in, like, a really bad position, but it's definitely not what I'd want to be in terms of, you know, this current prize race. Looks like they're going for the enriching to the Lopunny. Okay. Are they just going to go Spiky Hopper? Because I have Game of Koraidon. Okay. I'm not really sure what their plan here was, because you just wasted your enriching, but obviously I have Game of Koraidon. I can just go Sparking Crystal onto Koraidon and it'll cover the fight type, all the fighting type energy. I don't need to waste any more time. Maybe they don't think I have fighting energy available? Spoiler alert, my friend. I don't need a fighting energy. But now they're going to take the mick with their prize cards because they know they've lost. But no, this is a pretty interesting variant. I have seen it popping up in Japan, but, you know, ultimately, you know, it's a pretty good archetype from what I've seen. So we'll go Crystal, Lightning, Retreat into the Koraidon, and Orichalcum Fang for 340, and take out the Lopunny. That's why we need a Koraidon in this list. It is so good. And there we go. We didn't even need Noctowls that game. But hey, we got to triple stab. I asserted dominance as far as I'm concerned. Not really sure what their plan was there. They could have gone in with, you know, the pouncing trap, but I don't know. It just felt a bit weird, but still, that's their choice at the end of the day. Anywho, let's go to game 2. And welcome back to game 2. We've paired against the exact same person, unfortunately. I am going to pinch a list from Pokekabook for the archetype that he's playing. I have been looking at it, but I've not, like, you know, prioritized it. Because it, you know, it's an interesting archetype, don't get me wrong. But, you know, it's not something I'm like, oh yeah, I need to play this, you know, that sort of thing. But anyway, we'll start the Wellspring. If he starts another, you know, if he starts another Stunfisk, that's fine. You know, we play double Wellspring plus the Crystal, so I'm not really bothered, I'll be brutally honest. And no, he starts a Rabbit. Good. That's fine. Well, let's send him back to Alice in Wonderland, because he's going to need it after this game, hopefully. Yeah, he's not happy I've started a Wellspring and had a nuts draw. I'll just grab the Fan. I don't need second Marill right now. So we'll just grab these two. Well, 3, I should say. We will then attach to the Wellspring. I didn't even price check the water, but I don't have to because I have Crystal. And I will pass. Oh, he's gonna hate me. If I can find, like, if I get an energy top deck and he puts, like, Stunfisk in front of me, I'm fine with that. But yeah, I feel sorry for this guy. Vojtitko, or however the hell you say it. I don't know. Or would it be like Voshi? Oh, it's probably Russian or like Cyrillic or some degree. You know, that sort of thing. I don't know, to be brutally honest. I don't know how you actually say that username. So if you do happen to come across this video, mate, please do tell me how to use or say your username, because I cannot say it for the life of me. I'm a Brit. We do not say complicated words a lot of the time. We are British and very posh, although I'm not. I'm definitely not a posh Brit. There's Hilda, but obviously you've already... well, for a start, it's your first turn. I'm going to grab the Dunsparce and Enriching, and they're going to go for a runaround. They are. I respect that. But that's good for me, because like I say, I can just go for a Crispin and just, you know, bonk this thing on the head. So let's go for a Crispin. We have got the Water Energy and the prize cards, but that's completely fine. Because, like I say, we have the Crystal. So I'll do that. We'll then Noctowl. Grab ourselves the Crystal. There we are. And we'll take an Area 0 as well. So that's fine. We'll go Crystal to the Wellspring. I'll then go Area 0. I'll Noctowl a second time, because I want to get something on this board. If I lose this Wellspring, I'm kind of in trouble. So, I want to go Ultra Ball, and I want to go for a Lillie for next turn. Because I can Ultra Ball away these two. I can get myself down Koraidon, should anything go amiss. I can attach to Koraidon for turn. And then we will Torrential Pump, take out the Dunsparce, and take out the Rabbit. You've not been clock watching. You need to get your pocket watch out, mate. If you never watch Alice in Wonderland, that's going to go right over your head, but don't worry about it. I hope at least some of you have watched Alice in Wonderland, but, well, you know, everyone has their own preferences when it comes to films and stuff. But obviously with this Koraidon having an energy on it, if they do come up with a Lopunny at any point during the game, we have an instant response to it. So, you know, that's something. I also appreciate the fact that my opponent is playing relatively quick, so I do respect that. But obviously this next turn, if he comes up with... Okay, that's fine, I'll just get rid of this. If he comes up with the Baneri after using the Dunsparce, I'm fine. I will just attack with a Fan Rotom here. I'm fine with this. Obviously, we know Enriching Energy is his A-spec. But yeah, because we have the type coverage, it makes it so tricky for him. And that feels kind of bad, having to Lillie after you've just drawn a shed load of cards. There's a Buddy. That's fine. Let's see what else he's got. Because if he's just going to pat... No, he's just going to concede. Fair enough. I mean, you know, this is a pretty tough matchup for him because of the Koraidon. Probably shouldn't have put the Koraidon down, realistically, but it's fine, you know. But yeah, what can I say? This is a pretty alright matchup for us. You know, we have the Koraidon as type coverage. You know, we have the Wellsprings for early pressure into the bunnies. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that went. Let's go to game 3. Well, to make sure we didn't run into our same opponent again, I left it about a minute or two whilst I had a drink, just to, you know, help me throat and stuff. Because I don't really want to face the same guy 3 times in a row, so he's off on his own now. Being a brave little soldier playing the Stunfisk Mega Lopunny deck, it is a pretty cool little deck. I have seen it in Japan. Not really, like, experimented with it, but I'm sure I'll get around to it at some point. And looks like we're going second, which... In this archetype, you normally want to go first. Okay, I'll take a fan start, that's for sure. Because we have a Lillie, so I'm really happy with that. Because we can go, you know, Lillie after we Ultra Ball. Oh no! Oh no! It's Cynthia's Garchomp. Right, well this is going to get rough then. And there's an energy for the Gibble and a pass. Right, well this is going to get pretty interesting then, isn't it, Chief? So, we'll go Latias bench. I can go Ultra Ball away, Fighting, and a Crispin. Because I'm not playing Fan Rotom just yet, I want to grab a Wellspring. Because then I can do that, I can attach to the Wellspring, and then I can Lillie, then I can Fan Call. Sequencing 101, although I'm not the man you want to be asking about sequencing, that's for sure. Because now I can thin these Poffins out. Then we can Fan Call. Grab these 2, or 3, sorry. Then I can go into the Wellspring and sob the Roselia. Perfect turn that was. That was a perfect turn. That was an absolutely perfect turn. Obviously, he can just evolve this to a Roserade and a retreat it if he wants, but, you know, that's his choice at the end of the day. Yeah, I didn't prize check the crystal or the water energy. That's the only thing I forgot to do. But if he doesn't have Thingamabob this turn, another Roserade for this active, we can take 2 prize cards here, which I'm pretty happy with. So obviously you can't retreat this Roselia right now, but if he evolves it to a Roserade, he can. And obviously in this matchup, his damage mods are going to cause me a world of pain. There's another Gibble. We might actually be able to boss this Gabite instead. Okay, no, never mind. He's got a thingy on it. That sucks. I mean, we can deal with it. I can go Roselia, take out both his damage mods, but he's splitting his attachments, which is the smart play. Alright, well let's go for an Area 0. We don't want to put down Terapagos at any point during this matchup, because it is basically a free prize card. So let's go for a Noctowl and use Dual Seeker. I will have to put Koraidon down at some point though. We have prized our Crystal. What about a Water Energy? Okay, the water's in there, that's fine then. So what I'm thinking is I grab a Poffin plus... Well, again, no, Poffin's useless to me. We've got a Crispin in hand. So what I'm thinking is we grab Poké Pads and we grab Bangle. Because then that gives me an opportunity to set up, you know, that gives me an opportunity to set up my board a little bit more. So what I'll do is I will grab the Moltres. Did we have Fire in deck? Because I might need Moltres later. With like Bangle swinging. No, we don't have Fire. Okay, so we don't take the Moltres. In that case, I will just take a Marill. So we'll do that. I'll attach to one of them. I'll then play the Crispin, grab Water and Fighting. So we can do that. Attach. Bench the Fez. I do need to get another Terra down, but I don't need to do it this turn because I can Lillie for it. So yeah, we'll Torrential Pump. And we will take out the Gibble. His damage mods, they help him, but, you know, I need to start thinning the board out, that's for sure. Because now we have to go through 2 Garchomps, which is going to be very tricky with no grass coverage. Because obviously I couldn't take out this turn. In fact, could I have taken out this turn? No. I'd have needed, you know, like Energy Switch or something in this list. But no, this Garchomp is going to cause me a world of pain, and there's not much I can do about it. Because the issue is, like I say, we are a single prize, you know, we have single prize attackers, but ultimately, we just struggle into this matchup. There's another Gibble. He's got the Garchomp in hand. We can at least smack it in the face with a Marill, but or a Azumarill with a Bangle doing 260, but outside of that, it gets kind of tough, to say the least, because we need to 2-hit this thing, which is already a problem. Now, if he doesn't have, I was about to say, if he doesn't have a boss or an energy, that's fine, but he does have a boss, so he can go straight in with the Garchomp's Corkscrew Dive and take out my Fez. And of course, draw till he has 6 in hand, and take 2 prize cards as well. Okay, so I need to attack with Azumarill this turn. Right. So, we go Azumarill. We can now Noctowl, because he didn't take out the Wellspring, which is good for me. I can get myself an Ultra Ball, and I'll grab myself second Bangle, I guess. It doesn't really matter, because I can thin the Bangle here. So I can thin you and thin you. I need to get another Terra down. So I'll take Koraidon. Because Koraidon can respond after he knocks out Azumarill, assuming he doesn't have another boss. So we'll go Crispin. Do that. Why did I put the lightning there? It's fine. I'll claim Sin in the deck. I should have put the lightning there, but it's fine. It's okay. It's not a big deal. It just means now is I need an extra energy on this Koraidon. That was a misclick by me, but it's okay. Champion's Call. I've just got to hope he doesn't have another boss, because if he does, I'm in a world of trouble. I mean, sure, I can smack him in the face with Azumarill again, but then what else do I do after that, you know? The only thing I could realistically do is, like, you know, trap Roserade. But, you know, that feels pretty tough, to say the least. If he doesn't have a boss here, we're fine, because he hits the Azumarill, which I'm fine with. So that's fine. Fighting Gong's okay. Unless he has boss in his hand, which I would suspect he does. Yeah, the lightning should be on this Koraidon. I just simply misclicked. That might cost us in the long run. It's easily done, but it's okay. There's another Garchomp. Please do not have a boss's orders. I will hate you. But you can kind of see how tough this matchup is without, you know, any sort of like damage mod. Well, A, grass type coverage, but also B, damage mods. Can be pretty tough. Of course he has a boss. He's going to take out the Wellspring. Right, well we're basically dead then, because I can respond to this, but then I'm not killing this anytime soon. We have a Koraidon down, so we don't need to worry about the Area 0. So the only thing we can do is red card Lillie, and just go from there, really. There's not a lot I can really do. So, let's Poké Pad. We've got those in this, that's fine. We've got another Night Stretcher. Yes, we've got 2, that's fine then. I'll take the Hoothoot. So I'll bench the Hoothoot. I need to play this. I don't want to put an energy down now, because I might want to recover my Wellspring. Okay, well we can get Wellspring back. We can get rid of this, and we can get rid of this. Plus we should have another one in deck. Yes we do, perfect. Because that is probably going to be our endgame angle. Then for where this air balloon goes, I will put it here, and we will double edge for 260, take out the Garchomp. Our only hope now is because of all their power weights being in play, we get Crystal at the prize cards here. We don't, that sucks. Because if we got Crystal at the prize cards, we could gust this, trap it for 2 turns with Sob, and then just Wellspring or a Roselia for game. But yeah, this feels kind of bad. He's got a red card of his own, but that doesn't bother us too much. There's Black Belt, but that doesn't help. I don't think we're winning this one, I'm afraid. I don't think we are. Like the lightning energy not being on Koraidon literally doesn't matter now, because they will just nuke it with Draconic Buster. So we'll go Champion's Call. They could even, if they wanted to be cheeky, respond with Roselia with the power weight. But then I can just sob it, but then also they could just evolve it to a Roserade. So I don't really have many options here, unfortunately. It's looking pretty bleak. If he's doing all this thinning and he has a boss, I'm not going to be happy, but, well, that's just what some people do, unfortunately. And nope, Corkscrew Dive for 130. Take out my Azumarill. This is not looking good. So I will promote a Wellspring. And draw. Okay, that's not particularly helpful. The fact that we're not getting a boss here sucks, and I can't respond with a single prize because there's only on 1 prize. Yeah, that's going to be curtains for us, I'm afraid. Yeah, we can't really beat Garchomp because, well, we don't have grass coverage in this deck. You know, there's only so many types of, you know, energies we can play, and obviously Pokemon and stuff like that. But yeah, Garchomp, way too tough. And I don't think Azumarill will ever beat Garchomp unless we play like a, you know, like a Teal Mask approach. And even then, they can just Draconic Buster the Teal Mask. So, you know, it gets pretty tough. But anyway, let's go to Game 4. And welcome back to Game 4. That was an unfortunate loss there to the Cynthia's Garchomp archetype, but to be fair, that is a pretty tough archetype for us to deal with. The fact that we was able to get down to 2 prize cards was a miracle in itself with Azumarill. You know, obviously Azumarill got to do a decent bit, you know, our other attackers, including Wellspring, got to do something, but, you know, like I say, that's just tough anyway, because, you know, we don't have grass-type coverage, and they have 400 HP. You know? Way to say that Pokemon really loves Cynthia. And speaking of love, they don't love me because of this opening hand going first, bear in mind. And according to the feed up here, we just drew a Noctowl. Which we did. It is going to have to be a Fez attach pass. You don't love to see it. You really don't want to see it. Latias as well in this matchup is also pretty bad for us, because, well, you know, they can just play Black Belt, copy Flame Body Cannon, do 260 to this, and then, you know, take out a bench Pokemon. So they've got all three of their Zoroarks. Bit brave grabbing them early, but obviously there's not a huge amount of hand disruption in the format. And he's going to scratch for 40, which is actually relevant. Okay, well that's not particularly helpful, because I don't have anything going on. So, what energies do I have? I really wish I hadn't have attached this here now. Cause, I mean, to be fair, Moltres ain't going to do me nothing here. What do I grab here? I'm just going to grab a Marill. I think my best hope is to Marill, use the hide attack, and just hope. I have to hope for a heads, and I don't get it. Well, this is going to be a very short game 4, isn't it? Because like I say, now that's actually relevant for Flame Body Cannon. And well, he has triple Zoroark. Because I'd have loved to have done a Fez snipe and took out the active, but unfortunately not. Yeah, not getting a heads there is really bad, because, like I say, now we're just so vulnerable. There's Darmanitan, so they could potentially do a Flame Body Cannon. There's the third Zoroark. Again, Zoroark's tough, purely because of the lack of, you know, Grass-type coverage, but also the fact that we've just not been able to set up anything, you know? So the Cypher Maniac, have they already done all three of them? No, they've only done 2. So they can use this last one for whatever they want. So, that makes sense. They're going to get rid of Dara Marker. There's Zekrom, they can copy Shred. They don't even need to use Rampage and Thunder. Obviously, Shred, you know, it's enough, because, well, Marill's not Dark Weak, but it's still enough for it. Right. What can we do here? Well, with that hand, or that top deck, not a whole lot. We could actually play the game now, but I think it's too little too late, to be brutally honest. So I'll grab another Marill. I can't even respond with a Moltres swing here, because, like I said, the fire energy is here. Oh boy. I mean, I can boss the Zekrom and just hope he doesn't have a pivot, I guess. I can give him Moltres as a sacrifice, I guess, because obviously my fire energy is here. Bangle's not too relevant. I'll put the Psychic here and pass. That's all I can do, because my hand is dead. You know, I don't have a Terror down. I need him to take out this Moltres. So I just need him to not find a Petch or an Ends Castle. If he finds either, we're probably screwed. I've just got to hope he don't find any, but he probably will, because Zoroark is one of those decks that always seems to have it. It's like Dragapult, but it has a guaranteed draw too. But yeah, this has been a horrible start, and I don't think we're going to win purely based on that. I mean, you know, if they can't find anything, and we could just start like going 100, 100, 100, 100 with the Fez, we might be able to win, but then they're just going to knock this Fez out, and we won't be able to keep on the prize race. There's the Petra run, so they do have a switch. That just feels terrible. Show me the boss's orders, because you have not played a supporter yet. You know you want to. Show me the boss, because I know for a fact you'll have a boss. I'll be very surprised if you do not, after seeing 8 cards. There it is. They're going to go for the Marill for some reason. Yeah, this is pretty much curtains at this point. Because they've knocked out both my Marills, so I can't do anything, you know? I have no attacker established. The only thing that I could possibly get that would help me here is if I have enough to get Terapagos, Area 0 and enough Pokemon down. Well, that's a start. Can't do that. Just gonna Air Bloom one of these and play Lillie, because I can't use Noctowl right now. Okay. Okay. We might be able to do something then. So hold on, Terapagos, then again, no, we've already played Lillie, so I can't. And I can't respond with Tapu Koko because they'll just kill me. So yeah, I'm just going to scoop it up. I can't do anything here. You know, they boss the Marills, you know, they're taking single prize cards, going on to even prize cards again, which is good for their prize map. And I just can't do anything, you know, I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumbs, and it's kind of a shame. Real shame it ended that way, but you know what, you know, the deck did decently, and it did pretty well into Garchomp, which I was not expecting, but anyway. So, what did I think to the deck? I really enjoyed this deck, you know, like, this is a pretty decent little archetype. Is it, you know, going to impact the meta in any degree? Probably not. But, you know, Azumarill's always been a card I wanted to experiment with because of just how versatile it can be. You know, you can basically slap it into most decks with Psychic Energy and obviously Terra Pokemon, and it'll be completely fine, you know. It'll fit right in with Slotbox as well and give Slotbox an answer to Crostal. So, you know, Azumarill has a lot of benefits, but, you know, when you're facing Garchomp and you're facing Zoroark, you know, Zoroark's, I think, the second most played deck at the last regional. If memory serves, it is a good archetype, and obviously Garchomp is creeping up in play. You know, it's one of those, like, do you take the lightning type coverage for, you know, dealing with the influx of Mega Starmie and Mega Greninja, or do you go a Teal Mass route and, you know, try and squeeze in ways to deal with, you know, Garchomp, Zoroark, you know, that sort of thing. But the problem is with that take is there's no really good single prizer for grass decks that can, you know, definitively deal with Zoroark or deal with a Garchomp. There's not really one that comes to mind. I mean, when the next set, you know, well, not the next set after the Storm Esmeralda, as it's currently called in Japanese, there is that Bug Out archetype, which has grass type coverage with the Masquerain and the Vespiquen. So that'll have a good time into Zoroark and, of course, Garchomp. But then you got to think, oh yeah, they've got to worry about Mega Greninja because most of their Pokemon are 50 HP. So, you know, there's a lot to consider. But personally, I think Azumarill's a pretty nice deck to play. It's going to struggle into Zoroark. It's going to struggle into Garchomp. But, you know, outside of that, it's not too bad. It's actually pretty fun to play. But anyway, I'm going to leave it all to it for today. I really hope you enjoyed seeing Azumarill Box in action, and I'll see you next time.